enrolled at Extreme Talent School of Arts. I do marketing and promotions, so that will that will assist us in gaining more students.
Communication with us more, working through that.
Testing is perfect now. As I stated before, I do marketing and promotions. I work with celebrity talents, influencers with millions and millions of followers. So there's no doubt that we can bring people to the drama classes. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you.
Any questions? That's where I was going.
Do you have a facility here, or are you using one of our buildings? What's the plan?
Well, yes, I think it was supposed to be your Parks and Recreation that we were going to be able to teach the classes at.
Yeah, the plans to have.
Yeah, they would come into any place or Bethel Community Center and run their classes out of those facilities.
Right, that's correct.
My brother for sure will be building those drama games. Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Well, it sounds like you're starting your fall classes soon, I guess. I don't know how many people are aware of the opportunity or not. Is there an opportunity to join in the middle of the semester?
Absolutely. So if they want to come in the middle of that, that's perfectly fine with us.
Scott, can I clarify? We would need to be under a contract before we can. I don't think August 3rd is a date that we really can shoot for, but realistically, yeah. But yeah, you know, if they could join in the middle of any session, that's great. But having it start August 3rd is might be a bit soon.
So, I agree with you on that. Because we would need time to market, gather our materials to present, to promote. So I definitely agree with you on that.
So Sky, has your program been going on now? And if so, where?
We ended it last year at the Port Stafford Performing Arts Center.
Gotcha.
So nothing's been going on this year at all. So
Where did you say you were last year?
Port Stafford Performing Arts Center. That's part of the Parks and Recreation Department.
Gotcha. When you were in Jackson, just curious, your program there, what did it look like? Was it you were inside of a parks department there? Were you your own program in a building? I'm not clear on what it looked like.
We started out in the YMCA. So we started there, and then we were allowed opportunities through various parks and recreation. So I had instructors over here, instructors over there, and we were just spreading, the performing arts department. So
I'm kind of a detail guy. So if you had 3 age groups and you got 4-hour brackets, is it a 4-hour class, or is you've got a 4-hour window and you're slotting your age?
Each class is like 45 minutes to an hour.
Gotcha.
And so at that time, we had different classes that we were teaching at that time.
How, just another comparison question, how do you see your program different than other performing arts programs that are privately based, like RISPA, that sits in our city? How do you distinguish?
Well, I don't know all about RISPA, but I know that we're a nonprofit organization. So we do work with children. Like I said before, I try to, get grants to, pay for kids that cannot afford to pay for it. So we do offer that.
Gotcha.
And we just call it like scholarship funding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other questions?
I guess the question, Tom, for us as a board would be opportunity to direct one option is to say we approve the discussion and let you all as staff enter into discussion of contracting as a provider. Is that where that would be headed?
Yeah, I'm looking for recommendations one way or the other.
But it's certainly a wonderful opportunity you're all presenting to
Thank
a lot of
you so
youth. My head is spinning around challenges that may or may not be faced in social distancing in a building. The community center is a small space, particularly with what the schools just announced today. So there may be some challenges around what classroom-like training and the arts looks like with social distancing. I don't know. That's unfolding as we speak. But I think it's a rather unique opportunity for a lot of kids.
Well, I guess that's another question just based off of that. I saw that you said the minimum size was 4 to 7. Was that right?
7 to 10.
7 to 10. What's like the max size you kind of go to?
Well, I don't know, the capacity of, what
Right.
the facility will hold. So I guess I would need to ask you, like, how many students will the recreation center hold?
That would be Tom. You know, how many, in a non-social distancing environment, how many people do you think you could hold, I guess, in a?
So at Bethwell, you can hold like 50 to 55 people in there.
Okay.
That's the capacity of the building anyway.
Nice.
I don't know if you comfortably could do a class that size, but, yeah, the building can hold up to 50. I would think 20 to 30 would probably be about your max of doing an actual class.
Right, yeah.
Okay. I entertain a motion of some sort if folks are interested.
I'll make a motion that we pursue a contract with the Extreme Talent.
I hear a second for,
Is that good, Tom? Or is that it? Do we get everything you need in that one?
Anything else in that?
No.
Back then, I second that?
second by Sean. Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. So,
Thank
Sky
you
River,
so
thanks for coming.
much. Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys. Tom and Thomas will be your follow-up to see what comes out of an agreement, but I appreciate your presentation.
I appreciate you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Seriously, thank you so much, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
How old are you?
14.
That is so awesome.
I got a
love
15-year-old
working
daughter
with
full of
children.
drama.
Yeah.
I don't know if she needs to be trained.
That is so awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks.
so much. We greatly appreciate you all.
All right, moving back to item 6, committee reports. Hopewell baseball. We'll go through these kind of.
Supposed to bring something here?
Or just any update from Juan or?
No, actually the rec, you already know, start on June 15. It's supposed to end this Friday. And the All-Star tournaments that is hopefully both are supposed to finish this weekend and some next weekend. But everything looks great.
Awesome. Jason, you want to talk about Eagle Sticks?
From the rec side, there's, that's done. They did 2 camps here this summer, which were successful by all accounts. My daughter was at one of them. And then they're doing some of their select things. They got a tournament this weekend. I think they finish up in about 2 weeks.
Great. Awesome. NFL football.
They are preparing for the season. I think they have some evaluations tonight. They had some yesterday. I believe they are supposed to draft on Saturday instead of teams. So, families should be getting notified next week which team they're on. And I think the season is scheduled to get underway from practice August 3rd with scrimmages or jamborees and stuff that they do middle of the month somewhere. So they're gearing up for all that.
Awesome. That's good to hear. Thank you. Tom, can you fill in anything for the next couple items for us?
Sure. Halftime sports. Right now, they are Summer camps are still going on. They are still taking a reduced capacity, even though the governor's orders allow for more. They're kind of keeping the numbers low just to play it safe. I think they're taking between 20 and 25 a week, which is I'm fully supportive of, especially with the latest with COVID. Fall and winter are kind of in a holding pattern at this point with what's going on with Fulton County schools. I'm trying to find out if Fulton County will allow us to use their gyms. So that's where we are with that time. Milton Mustangs, there's really no report there. Their summer was canceled. Milton Tennis Center, Terry O'Brien, the tennis pro out there, is reporting terrific numbers. He's filling up. He actually has another new team this year. I haven't seen the registration yet, but reports are good. Good.
I don't have much to add to arts programming at the moment, unless you got something else to tell me.
No, the art are struggling. All the indoor space besides basketball, which is a large gym, is not taking registration right now very well. So we haven't had much make.
Gotcha. All right.
Do you currently have access to the fields like Northwestern and the ones that we typically get?
Working on that as well.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I reached out to Fulton County this afternoon asking the land folks, are you going to allow anyone to be on your field with school being virtual? And her response was, she'll let me know tomorrow or early next week. Sounds like they don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm like trying to figure it out.
Yep. Yeah, I suspect until GHSA decides that it all goes downhill.
Yeah, and I saw some reports there, numbers weren't great.
Yeah.
What they've had,
Item 7, unfinished business, the discussion of city email policy.
Yes. We still do have a couple of board members that just need to get the acknowledgement of the email policy signed.
Okay.
That's essentially
That's
all I need.
That's the unfinished.
I'll give it to you. That's fine. After the meeting.
Okay.
Take care of it.
Awesome. Moving along into item 8, new business. Sub-item B, discussion of the Wall of Fame. Tom.
All right, Mr. Chairman. We have the nominations in, and we have a ballot for this year's Wall of Fame. There are 18 nominees, and we're going to do this just like last year. You'll vote 18 as your highest, most qualified person to hit the Wall of Fame, and you'll just tally them on down to 1. Last year we had 15, so there's only 3 more. And I will be reaching out to the 2 principals tomorrow and getting these ballots over to the principals so they can pass them on to whoever they nominate to do the voting.
Yeah. Tom, can we just get some clarification on the top of it, and maybe it's just because it was kind of taking place
that
here.
should say 17.
17, okay. Just double checking.
Yes.
No.
No.
Don't want to short anybody. No.
What's your, when do you need them in by, Tom?
Let's get those in before the next meeting for sure, so that we can get going on the
Notification.
the scoring, the notification for everybody. So like, if that's not unreasonable, 3-4 weeks.
Probably say August 13th. That's the week before the next meeting.
Deal.
We use that as our driver.
So what was that date? August 13th?
August 13th. So it's the week before our next meeting.
And to this, have we given any, I struggle here. We have one person that has 2.5 pages, and we have one person with 2 sentences, right? Have we given any, criteria, guidelines,
Or character limits and
character, even to the, I know having filled some out, in my high school, there's this kind of high school accomplishments, college accomplishments, post, what they've done post college.
Lessons learned for the next wave.
Yeah, something where we can say, here's maybe youth accomplishments, high school accomplishments, post, or, you know, and an opportunity to just kind of define where somebody is, right? Somebody might have a lot in high school, or somebody might have a lot in college, you know, nothing in, those two have a lot in the coaching, and kind of gives us a general,
Yep.
cause, you know, some of these folks that, hey, you know, I remember last year there was somebody that's like, he gives 110% and does everything for this. Like, he's never gonna get my vote.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and so he's always gonna be low on the vote, and it's unfortunate, you know, but that's not a great nominee.
We can, as part of the review of the voting at the August meeting, look at the criteria and make some edits and just, I think you're right.
You can recommend how you like.
How you want it for next
Or what
year.
questions you want asked.
Right.
Yeah.
That is very easy for us for next year.
Yep.
Just
So
to kind of put some
lesson learned from
Yeah,
this year.
we're-
Reform is a little too free.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Good. So we got a deadline, we got a bunch of candidates, there's some very interesting ones in there. I look forward to everybody voting on those. Got any questions as it unfolds, call me, call Tom, but turn your ballots in at Tom. Item 9, city staff reports and communications. Thomas and Tom, this is, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Staff update right now. It is still me and Thomas. That's basically all I have for that. Former Milton Country Club update. We have made some strides at the former Milton Country Club. The trails we're moving forward with the trails. And although we haven't necessarily broke ground, but that is moving quickly. The clubhouse itself also moving very quickly. We've got the inside of the building demoed out, it's cleared out, and we're working with a firm that is giving us the architectural layout and build design for the inside of the building now. So
We went through mold remediation. Did you remove the old kitchen?
the kitchen is still there.
Okay.
The kitchen and dining room are still there, and there's probably gonna be some like partitions that will kind of open up the building. Yep. Cool. So yeah, and the whole building, yes, has been remediated of all mold.
And then the other, I remember the other unsightly part of that property was all the maintenance shed area as you go down the ramp from the parking lot up and up the left.
Yes.
I haven't been on site in a while.
We have a contract that should be, I believe it goes in front of council, and we're gonna have that done.
Gotcha.
Very soon.
Great. I know the city's residents are anxious to see something happening over there.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thomas, anything to add? All right. Cox Road, I'm working on the turf there, very hard. We have closed the Cox Road fields, the grass fields anyway, to give them a little rest. We were getting lots of activity, from various soccer clubs around the area, and they were really doing some damage. So, we decided to go ahead and, close down the grass fields. The turf is still open. And we're still working on getting some IT issues resolved with, we're trying to get communications from the light box that controls all the lights. We're trying to get internet all the way out to the fields, because that's where the light box is, and try to get it all the way over to the building and get it communicating and being able to access the lights remotely is going to be huge for us this fall.
Yes.
Yes.
Thomas.
I know there's a lot of taxes, but at the field, the lights are on.
Yeah, and
Miscommunication.
Thomas and I had to go out to those fields almost on a daily basis, and for all intents and purposes, plug into that box and change schedules every day. Yeah. It wasn't very user friendly, and if we could at least get access remotely from wherever we are,
That's the way the other parks are.
it's a big step.
Trust me, I've had that phone call in another life.
Yep, and Triscapes, our maintenance crew is just doing a great job out there. The fields look good. The fields look real good. They're already starting to recover. I was out there today.
Great,
Yeah,
great.
soon, being optimistic that we'll be able to get to Fulton County Fields. We're doing the same type of maintenance at, Cogburn Woods, and I know last fall when we got out there, that field was in
Great shape.
Yes, and actually, I heard from Tim, end of last week, Tim Gubby, and sent me a picture of the fields and said, these things haven't looked this good since he's been around. I've been real hard on the mowing schedule, mowing heights, watering, you know, and it's paying off. It's paying off.
Yeah.
They've been receptive and understanding, and they're really doing a good job out of all these fields. I think the programs that use the grass will be happy. It's not turf, I know.
Can't grow grass in this weather, and you've got a problem.
Yes, especially for Bermuda.
Yeah. Great.
And item B, the last item, Camp Joyful Souls. We had to make the incredibly hard decision to cancel the July weeks as well with Camp Joyful Souls. The week before training, in fact, it was less than a week as far as days go. We lost multiple members of our staff, and it became very challenging for me to wrap my head around a safe camp with qualified staff. You know, I'm not just going to bring anybody in to fill those shoes. And it was just, unfortunately, anybody that knows me knows I love that camp, and that's not what I wanted, but it was the right decision. We had to do it. So Camp Joyful Souls, unfortunately, did not happen this summer. That is all I have for staff update.
Great. So good reports. Thank you. Tom, anything else you want to add for staff?
No, I mean,
Awesome. Other business for today's meeting. I know we talked just briefly before the meeting, Tom, with Fulton County Schools announcing that they're going to virtual and not going to be on the classrooms. I suspect there's a number of implications of that may impact recreational programming as we go into the fall. I guess as we were just saying a minute ago, I worry or am concerned about high school sports. If they cancel high school sports, then it can be interesting to see what do recreational programs do if there's no high school sport.
Yes.
I mean, that was one thing I was, as a partner on the committee, does the city of Milton have kind of an action plan overall for the fields or the facilities that we manage on, kind of the response of, I mean, it's not, in my opinion, not necessarily a matter of if, but more of when or, how many and potentially, when activities start. How do we handle that, or how are we planning on handling it? Is it kind of a case-by-case basis, or we leave it up to the third-party vendors? I know the last meeting we had with the deputy fire marshal, he said he was tracking it, and really it wasn't. He said, I think, if I remember correctly, that the city wasn't going to really shut down unless the county or the state kind of went that direction. But I just didn't know from a facility standpoint, like you were saying, with halftime, we might not have those uses for the gyms just because of Fulton County, but I didn't know about the fields themselves. Or
Yeah, we have the ability for our own fields to do, as we wish. And as far as, if there is a case, all of our programs have provided me with a COVID plan, all of them. Vary a little bit, but they go by, Governor Kemp's and the CDC guidelines, and they all hit it. Depending on the program, some of them have a representative on their board, per se, that if there is a COVID case, that the team mom or the parent would email that one person to notify me.
And this is just based off of where I grew up. I saw an article today about a youth sports coach that tested positive and didn't stop and just kept coaching. I also was talking to somebody else today who, in a different program north of here, same thing happened. I think it was like a cheerleading camp or facility where people weren't letting people know that they tested positive and continued to do, because they were getting close to the end of the season and wanted to finish. you know, how do we handle that kind of situation, or how would we handle something like that? I mean, is that from a city standpoint, is it liability on us? Is it?
I can't answer that question
Okay.
with any confidence.
Yeah. Just when I've read
If someone doesn't tell anyone how,
Yeah,
how
I
anybody
didn't know.
knows.
Right, it's like a tree fall in the forest, right?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Right.
I guess it would be you could go to council and ask the question, you know, what are the liabilities for the city if a program provider's got unreported cases within their program or some violation of the state executive emergency act, just to get a read on. And then we could proactively communicate to the partner, say, you take this seriously and be on top of it. And just kind of raise the awareness one more time.
Because I know we
Maybe
all
that's the right thing to do.
and I know people want to do what they can, and it's just, yeah, I mean, like, just, I'm assuming with like football, or when we saw like the Fulton County schools kind of set up was one day shut down if it was within, but if you were within that class, it was like 2 weeks, I think. So I know that would be, you know, obviously detrimental to a lot of the sports, if something like that happened, but, you know, hopefully people would be.
Maybe the other thing we could do is ask Matt Marietta for, you know, what would you advise a program of 500 baseball players? What, if a case or two pop up, what should they be doing? Maybe he's got some input that he could provide us to give guidance to them.
Leading on that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan though. We'll revisit that.
No,
You
thank you, Sean Michael, for bringing that up. That's very valuable for sure.
Yeah, so let us know what you hear there. Anything else on other business? Kind of a short meeting, I'm not gonna complain. If I have no other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Alvarici, second by Sean Michael, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. So moved. Thank you very much, everyone.